Hi, this is Drex, and this is a recap of a three-poi intro class. So the things we started off playing with were really meteor stuff, because of course most of the stuff that involves three-poi, you're going to start with tricks that are meteor-style tricks, because you need to have two-poi in a single hand, right? So the first trick that we played around with there was just a standard two-beat done meteor style. And the way we got there was to hold two poi, of course, in the same hand. I like to have one between my thumb and index finger and one between my pinky and ring finger. And to begin by sweeping my hand back and forth as though it's in a two-beat, and gradually work my way down to smaller and smaller circles, and then work on having it be that my thumb feels like it's leading its way through this. So I think it's thumb up, thumb down, going through, and that will achieve the kind of separation that I'm looking for in getting my meteor weave down. We also talked a little bit about turning with this so that you wind up here on the reverse side, my thumb end is still leading. You could also do this in such a way that your pinky would be the leader. So that would be the blue poi. And we also talked about the importance of deliberately tangling yourself up and finding ways to untangle yourself, so that, as inevitably will happen as you're playing around with meteor weaves, when you do tangle yourself, you'll be able to escape from those situations. And of course it allows you to do things like do a continuous meteor weave around, like so. Once all that feels comfortable, it's time to add in the third poi, in which case you start off with that same standard meteor weave, but you're now adding the additional hand. So this really feels very much like a two-beat weave right here. And it feels like a two-beat with my meteor hand on top. You could just as easily do your meteor hand on bottom. And of course, what I'm looking for here is not the same degree of separation that it was in a meteor. I'm only looking for a separation of maybe a third of the circle, right? So what this winds up being is my meteor poi are both leading the way through, and my one odd poi out in my left hand here winds up being the one that is separate and following through. So again, you can use that same technique for doing a meteor weave to do a continuous turn with your three-poi weave, and you can also get the reverse three-poi weave, which this is still that thumb-led version that feels a little bit to my meteor hand as though it's a five-beat weave, and again, it's the thumb side on my meteor hand that's leading the way through it. We also talked about some tricks that are based upon a Superman, which a Superman is this glow stringer inspired trick, and the way you can get to that is to start off by holding your pinky side poi while your thumb side poi is moving forwards, and try and have your pinky side go back and forth in a pendulum like this, while your thumb side poi is working back and forth in a standard tic-tac or a two-beat weave. And this is just to learn the timing of it, to always make sure that when your vertical poi is coming down, it's going through the hole that's left by the pendulum poi not being on that side. When that timing starts to feel comfortable, you draw it close to your body, and just know that whenever the pendulum poi is over on a given side of your body, your hand is going to be on the other side of the body, and it just kind of ricochets back and forth like this, right? So with a Superman, we played with three different tricks. We played with a two-beat weave, which I've now totally forgotten the timing of. There we go. So a two-beat weave using that Superman, where your odd hand out is kind of being the underhand on the two beats. We talked about a variant of this that comes out looking like an archer weave, which is this bad boy right here, which is really the same weave. You're just doing it up around your shoulders rather than down around your waist. And finally, we talked about one that had an odd timing variation on it, where if when the pinky side poi goes around my non-native side, I get an extra beat out of the vertical poi, like so. And this gives me the option. Give me 1 second here. There we go. I'm doing a 3-beat weave with a Superman, like so, which has this really cool atomic feel to it. And finally, we talked about using a butterfly arrangement in Meteor once we get untangled. So, using a butterfly to do really, really bizarre things like this hybrid right here, which is a cat eye versus isolation versus extension, which is a mouthful and kind of a pain to do. So yeah, that was 3 Point in a nutshell.